Life is precious and time is fleeting. Yet so many of us go through our days without truly living. We wake up each morning on autopilot, going through the motions, not realizing that we're letting valuable moments slip away. Today I want to wake you up. I want to challenge you to stop wasting your life. You have dreams, you have potential, and you have the ability to make a real impact, but only if you stop wasting time and start living intentionally. Time is a constant force, ticking away with every passing second. It doesn't care about your plans, your desires, or your struggles. It moves forward, whether you're ready for it or not. And once it's gone, you can never get it back. This is why time is one of the most powerful commodities you have. It's the only thing you truly own, yet it's the easiest thing to squander. Every day we wake up, we are granted a fresh set of hours. How we choose to spend them will determine the trajectory of our lives. However, too many people fail to recognize the sheer value of time. They treat it as something infinite or endlessly renewable, yet it's far from it. Every moment you waste is a moment that can never be recovered, and that is the crux of the power time holds over us. The reality is most people live in a state of unconsciousness when it comes to time. They wake up, go through their routine, and don't give much thought to how they're spending their hours. It becomes so easy to fall into the trap of living on autopilot, simply going through the motions without considering whether those motions are moving them towards something meaningful. The irony is that this unconsciousness is often a major reason for regret later in life. We must also recognize that time isn't just about quantity but quality. It's not enough to say you've lived for 30, 40 or 50 years if those years are filled with passivity and routine. It's about how deeply you engage with the moments you're given. Have you truly lived in those years, or have you just existed through them? Time holds its power not only in its passage but also in its potential for richness and depth when used mindfully. When we fail to recognize the power of time, we let it slip away through trivial distractions. You might spend hours scrolling through social media, binge-watching TV shows, or procrastinating on tasks that could improve your life. These distractions seem harmless in the moment, but over time they accumulate into a massive loss of potential. This is where the danger lies. What seems like a small amount of time wasted here and there adds up to years lost. One of the biggest traps is the belief that there will always be more time. We tell ourselves that we'll start that project tomorrow, that we'll make a change next week, or that we'll take that dream vacation someday. The truth is, someday never comes unless you make it come. Time doesn't wait for you to be ready, and the older we get, the more we realize just how limited our time truly is. The key to recognizing the power of time is to understand its finite nature. Once you realize that every minute is precious, you'll start to see the importance of how you spend it. This realization should ignite a sense of urgency in you because the life you're living right now is all you have. Your future is built on how you spend each moment today. Time is the most valuable gift you'll ever receive, and how you use it defines the life you'll lead. Comfort zones are a place of safety, familiarity, and predictability. They are the mental and emotional spaces where we feel at ease, where everything is known, and where the risks are minimal. In many ways, comfort zones offer a temporary sense of security, but they come at a cost. The cost is your growth. Staying in your comfort zone may feel good in the moment, but it prevents you from reaching your full potential. It traps you in a cycle of stagnation and complacency, where change seems daunting and growth feels uncomfortable. The first thing to realize is that growth doesn't happen in a place of comfort. Every successful person, every great achievement, every breakthrough has come from a place of discomfort and challenge. When you push yourself beyond what feels easy, you step into a world of possibilities that you would never have encountered if you stayed in the safe zone. Comfort may offer peace, but it doesn't offer progress. If you want to achieve something extraordinary, you have to be willing to step outside the ordinary. The fear of leaving your comfort zone is a powerful force. It often holds us back from pursuing what we truly desire. We fear the unknown, the uncertainty, and the possibility of failure. But it's important to understand that fear is a natural part of growth. It's the signal that you're about to stretch your limits, to challenge yourself in new ways. If you avoid fear at all costs, you are avoiding the very experiences that will lead to personal development and fulfillment. Embrace the fear. It's a sign that you're on the path to growth. When you stay in your comfort zone, you miss out on the opportunities for personal transformation. The world is full of experiences, people, and lessons that can only be accessed. You can't learn to swim without getting in the water, and you can't grow without stepping into discomfort. Comfort zones don't foster new skills or new perspectives. They keep you tethered to what you already know, limiting your potential to evolve. Only by venturing into the unfamiliar will you discover new strengths, capabilities, and interests. Breaking free from your comfort zone doesn't mean you need to make huge, drastic changes overnight. It's about making small, intentional choices to challenge yourself every day. It might start with speaking up in a meeting, taking a new class, or even traveling to a new place. Every time you step out of your comfort zone, you expand your boundaries a little bit more. Over time, these small steps add up, and what once felt uncomfortable becomes familiar. The more you practice stepping outside of your comfort zone, the easier it becomes to tackle bigger challenges with confidence. One of the biggest benefits of breaking free from your comfort zone is the opportunity to discover what you're truly capable of. When you stay in the familiar, you don't know what you're missing. You don't know how strong, resilient, or resourceful you are until you are pushed to the limit. It's when you are faced with challenges and uncertainty that you discover your true potential. These experiences will teach you lessons that you can't learn from sitting on the sideline. The risks you take will shape you in ways that remaining in comfort never could. Finally, breaking free from your comfort zone is not just about achieving external success, but about developing internal strength and resilience. It's about learning to trust yourself, to believe in your ability to adapt, and to realize that failure is not the end but a part of the journey. As you step outside your comfort zone, you become more confident, more capable, and more adaptable. The challenges you face will build your character and help you become the person you were always meant to be. In the end, it's the discomfort that will shape your success. Living on autopilot means going through life without intention, waking up, doing the same routines, engaging in the same habits, and following the same patterns day after day. It's a silent trap that many fall into without even realizing it. You wake up, go to work, come home, eat, scroll through your phone, and repeat. It may feel like you're being productive because you're busy, but in reality, you're just surviving, not truly living. Life becomes a loop, and before you know it, months or even years have passed without any real growth or fulfillment. The danger of autopilot is that it disconnects you from your purpose. When you're not fully present, you stop questioning why you do what you do. You lose track of your dreams, your goals, and even your identity. You become a machine operating out of habit rather than passion. And while routines can be helpful, they become toxic when they replace conscious thought and personal agency. Without awareness, you start accepting a life that doesn't challenge, inspire, or fulfill you, and that's a life wasted. What autopilot steals from you is your now. Every moment you're not fully present is a moment missed. Think about how often you're physically somewhere but mentally somewhere else, thinking about work, checking notifications, replaying past conversations. Living this way robs you of connection to yourself, to others, and to the world around you. When you live unconsciously, you miss the beauty of simple moments and the opportunities that only come when you're truly tuned into the present. Another major consequence of living on autopilot is a lack of self-reflection. You stop asking yourself important questions. Am I happy? Is this what I want? Am I growing? Without reflection, you can drift through life in the wrong direction for years. You might find yourself in a job, relationship, or lifestyle that doesn't align with who you really are, just because you never pause to reassess. Self-awareness requires you to slow down and think, and autopilot does the opposite. It keeps you speeding through life, unexamined. Breaking free from autopilot starts with awareness. You have to become conscious of your thoughts, habits, and actions. Start by noticing where you're going through the motions. Are you showing up to conversations without really listening? Are you making choices just because that's how it's always been done? Awareness creates the space for intention, and once you're intentional, you can start designing your life instead of just reacting to it. Living intentionally means choosing how you spend your time, energy, and attention. It means doing things that align with your values and saying no to what doesn't serve your growth. It's about taking control of your life's direction. You don't need to have every answer or see every step ahead. What matters is that you wake up and decide to live on purpose. Even small changes like being fully present during a meal or dedicating 10 minutes a day to reflection can shift you from autopilot to awareness. When you stop living on autopilot, you start waking up to your life. You start noticing the beauty in the mundane, the lessons in the challenges, and the possibilities within reach. You reclaim your power to choose, to create, to grow, to evolve. Life becomes richer, fuller, and more meaningful when you're present in it. You begin to realize that time isn't something to pass, it's something to use. And how you use it determines the life you create. The idea of the perfect time is one of the biggest illusions we hold on to. We tell ourselves that we'll start that business when we have more money. We'll chase that dream when we feel more confident, or we'll leave that toxic situation when things settle down. But here's the truth. The perfect time doesn't exist. Life will never pause and align all its pieces to make things easy for you. Waiting for everything to be just right is often a subtle form of procrastination dressed up as preparation. When you convince yourself that you're simply waiting for the right moment, what you're really doing is avoiding discomfort, risk, and the unknown. You're protecting yourself from the possibility of failure, but in doing so, you're also protecting yourself from the possibility of growth. Life rewards those who move despite uncertainty, not those who wait for certainty. Taking action while things are still messy and unclear is what separates the doers from the dreamers. Every person who has accomplished something meaningful had to start before they were ready. They didn't have all the answers, they didn't feel fully prepared, but they acted anyway. Because starting is what gives you clarity. Starting is what teaches you what works and what doesn't. Progress doesn't begin once things are perfect. Progress creates the perfection you're waiting for. If you wait too long, you'll end up stuck in the same place, wondering why nothing has changed. Fear often hides behind the excuse of timing. You tell yourself it's not the right time, but deep down, you're afraid of what might happen if you try. Will you fail? Will people judge you? Will you realize it's harder than you thought? These fears are valid, but they shouldn't stop you. Growth is not the absence of fear, it's the willingness to move forward in spite of it. The truth is, the right time is the moment you decide to take control of your life, not a date marked on your calendar. We also have to understand that time itself is not guaranteed. You may think you have years to make a change, but life can shift in an instant. Opportunities don't wait, people don't wait, time doesn't wait. How many chances have you missed because you were waiting for a sign or for your circumstances to change? The longer you wait, the more momentum you lose. And the more momentum you lose, the harder it becomes to act. Delaying your dreams eventually turns into denying them. Starting doesn't mean going full force immediately. It can begin with one decision, one phone call, one commitment, one step forward. It's not about jumping off a cliff without a parachute. It's about trusting yourself to build the wings on the way down. Small steps today lead to big transformations tomorrow. You don't need to be perfect to begin. You just need to begin. The rest will come. But only if you stop waiting and start moving. When you stop waiting for the perfect time, you regain your power. You stop placing your future in the hands of timing, luck, or ideal circumstances, and you place it back where it belongs, with you. Life becomes more vibrant when you take initiative, when you bet on yourself, and when you create momentum through action. Action births confidence, and confidence creates more opportunities. The perfect time isn't coming, but you can choose to start now, and that's what makes the time perfect. One of the most liberating yet challenging truths you'll ever embrace is this: your life is your responsibility, not your parents', not your partners', not your bosses', yours. The moment you fully accept this truth is the moment your life begins to change. Because when you stop blaming others and start owning your decisions, you reclaim your power. Taking responsibility doesn't mean everything that's happened to you is your fault. It means you have the power to choose how you respond, how you grow, and how you move forward. Many people stay stuck because they constantly point fingers. They blame their past, their circumstances, or other people for where they are. And while it's true that life can be unfair and unpredictable, constantly assigning blame keeps you trapped in a victim mindset. It convinces you that you have no control, that you're at the mercy of outside forces. But here's the truth. You can't change what you don't take ownership of. If you want a better life, you have to stop saying it's because of them and start saying it's up to me. When you take full responsibility, you stop waiting for someone else to fix your problems. You stop relying on external validation, handouts, or rescue. You begin to understand that your success, your happiness, your peace, it all starts with what you choose to do about your situation. That might mean learning new skills, changing your environment, cutting off toxic relationships, or simply shifting your mindset. These aren't always easy choices, but they're yours to make. And that's where the power lies. Taking responsibility also means being brutally honest with yourself. Are you making excuses for your lack of progress? Are you avoiding the hard work that change requires? It's easier to say I can't than to admit I won't. But growth only happens when you hold yourself accountable. Not just for your actions, but for your inactions too. Being honest doesn't mean beating yourself up. It means facing the truth so you can do something about it. Self-awareness is the first step toward real transformation. Another key part of responsibility is learning to respond rather than react. Life will throw curveballs, pain, setbacks, betrayal, failure, but how you choose to respond to those moments defines your character. Will you grow bitter or stronger? Will you give up or rise? Responsibility is not about controlling everything that happens. It's about owning your role in how you handle it. The strongest people are not those who avoid hardship, but those who face it with courage and intention. Taking responsibility doesn't mean doing everything alone. It's not about rejecting help or denying your emotions. It's about knowing that while support is valuable, no one else can live your life for you. People can guide you, inspire you, and walk beside you, but you have to take the steps. You have to wake up every day and decide to be better than yesterday. That's the essence of responsibility. Choosing growth even when it's uncomfortable and refusing to settle for less than you're capable of. Ultimately, taking responsibility is an act of self-respect. It says, I believe my life is worth the effort. It's about stepping out of the passenger seat and grabbing the wheel. Your future isn't written yet, and no one else gets to write it for you. You have the power to change, to create, and to become. But only if you're willing to stop waiting, stop blaming, and start owning your life, one choice at a time. Failure is one of the most misunderstood experiences in life. We're taught from a young age to avoid it, to fear it, and to feel ashamed of it. But in truth, failure is not the enemy. It's a necessary step on the path to success. Every great innovator, leader, artist, and entrepreneur has failed repeatedly. The difference is, they didn't let failure define them, they used it to refine them. When you stop fearing failure, you open yourself up to growth, to learning, and to the kind of transformation that can only come through challenge. The fear of failure often stems from the desire to be perfect or to be seen a certain way by others. We're afraid of looking foolish, of being judged, or of disappointing the people around us. But the truth is, everyone fails, everyone stumbles. The only people who don't fail are the ones who never try. And that, in itself, is the greatest failure of all. Trying and failing is far more honorable than never trying at all. Because at least you dared, at least you moved. Failure is also one of life's greatest teachers. When you fail, you gain insight that success could never teach you. You learn what doesn't work. You uncover weaknesses you need to strengthen. You develop resilience, grit, and humility. These lessons shape you into a better version of yourself. The pain of failure is temporary, but the wisdom it brings can last a lifetime. And when you apply that wisdom, you don't just bounce back, you rise stronger. The people who achieve extraordinary things are not the ones who never fall, but the ones who never quit. They treat failure as feedback, not as a final verdict. They see it as part of the process, not the end of the road. Every setback becomes a setup for a comeback. They use failure to pivot, to adjust, to improve. That mindset is what separates the average from the exception. If you can learn to see failure as fuel, nothing can truly stop you. Fear of failure also robs you of opportunities. How many chances have you passed up because you were afraid of not getting it right? How many dreams have you delayed because you weren't sure you'd succeed? The fear doesn't just block action, it blocks potential. It keeps you playing small when you were meant to play big. The truth is, success is built on a mountain of failures. Each failure is a step up, not a step back, if you choose to keep climbing. One of the most empowering things you can do is redefine failure. Stop seeing it as something to avoid and start seeing it as evidence that you're trying, that you're growing, that you're alive. Failure means you had the courage to show up. It means you're chasing something bigger than your comfort zone. And that's something to be proud of. Embracing failure doesn't mean you aim to fail. It means you're no longer afraid of what it means when you do. Ultimately, when you stop fearing failure, you start living freely. You stop hesitating, second-guessing, and holding back. You take bold actions, you say yes to challenges, you try new things. And in doing so, you expand what's possible for your life. Fear loses its grip the moment you decide that failing is better than standing still. Because even if you fall forward, and that's still progress. There is something powerful and life-igniting about living in alignment with your passion. Passion is not just a hobby or interest, it's a calling, a fire inside you that refuses to be silenced. It's that thing that makes your heart race and your soul feel alive. When you pursue your passions relentlessly, you begin to experience life on a deeper level. You're no longer just existing, you're creating, contributing, and chasing something meaningful. Passion gives your life direction. And when you follow it with all your heart, everything begins to change. Most people suppress their passions. They bury them under responsibilities, fear, doubt, or the belief that pursuing them is impractical. They settle for safe careers and predictable routines, convincing themselves that passion is a luxury, not a necessity. But what they don't realize is that denying your passion is denying yourself. It's like having wings but choosing to crawl. Passion is not a side dish, it's fuel for your spirit. It's what keeps you curious, alive, and striving for something greater than comfort. To pursue your passion relentlessly means you stop making excuses and start making progress. Yes, the path might be uncertain. Yes, people might not understand. And yes, it may take time, sacrifice, and effort, but it's worth it. Because the joy and fulfillment you feel from doing what you love outweigh any obstacle. Relentless pursuit doesn't mean reckless, it means committed. It means waking up every day with the resolve to take at least one step forward, no matter how small. When you follow your passion, you tap into a well of energy and motivation that discipline alone cannot provide. Passion drives you through late nights, early mornings, and setbacks. It keeps you focused when distractions tempt you to give up. Passion is what makes the hard work feel purposeful. It transforms tasks into opportunities and challenges into stepping stones. It creates resilience because you're not just working, you're building something that matters to you deeply. Pursuing your passion also means accepting that the journey may not look like anyone else's. It's deeply personal. It won't always follow a straight line or a clear plan. You might need to take unconventional paths, reinvent yourself, or take risks that scare you. But that's part of the adventure. When you commit to the pursuit, you begin to discover parts of yourself that you never knew existed. You uncover talents, ideas, and dreams that were hidden beneath the surface, waiting for your courage to dig them out. Passion doesn't guarantee instant success, but it does guarantee meaning. Even if you fail, even if it takes years, even if no one else sees the vision, you'll know that you lived with purpose, that you chased what mattered, that you didn't let fear, time, or doubt talk you out of becoming who you were meant to be. You'll be able to look back and say, I gave it everything I had. And there's nothing more satisfying than that kind of self-honesty. The world doesn't need more people following scripts. It needs people on fire with purpose. People who are bold enough to dream and disciplined enough to chase. When you pursue your passions relentlessly, you don't just change your own life, you inspire others to do the same. You give permission for others to live fully, to believe in themselves, and to take risks in pursuit of what sets their soul on fire. Passion is contagious. When you live it, you light the way for others. Investing in yourself is the most valuable and high return commitment you can ever make. It's not selfish, it's strategic. You are your greatest asset, and when you pour time, energy, and resources into your growth, you elevate every area of your life. Whether it's your health, your mindset, your skills, or your relationships, everything improves when you do. Success doesn't start with money, connections, or luck. It starts with you. And the more you grow, the more your capacity to succeed grows with you. To invest in yourself means to prioritize learning and personal development. It means picking up books instead of scrolling endlessly, choosing courses over comfort, and seeking knowledge that expands your perspective. You can't expect a transformed life while feeding your mind with mediocrity. Growth is intentional. When you stop growing, you start stagnating. Reading, studying, reflecting, these small daily actions build momentum. They sharpen your thinking, fuel your creativity, and keep your purpose alive. But the investment goes beyond just mental knowledge. It also includes your physical health. You only get one body to carry you through life. How you treat it matters. Prioritizing rest, movement, and nutrition isn't just about looks, it's about energy, discipline, and longevity. A healthy body supports a healthy mind. When you feel good physically, you perform better mentally and emotionally. Investing in your health means you're playing the long game with your life. Emotional and spiritual growth are just as crucial. Learning how to manage your emotions, develop emotional intelligence, set boundaries, and heal from your past. This is deep, personal work, but it pays off more than anything else. You become more self-aware, grounded, and capable of handling life's challenges. You attract healthier relationships. You make better decisions. You stop reacting and start responding with wisdom and clarity. Inner work is invisible to others, but it makes everything visible in your life stronger. Time is another powerful currency of self-investment. How you spend your time reveals what you truly value. Are you investing it wisely or wasting it on distractions? Building a routine that supports your goals, surrounding yourself with people who challenge you to grow, and being intentional with your hours. These choices shape your future. Your time is limited, and every minute spent mindlessly is a minute lost. Be ruthless with your focus, because what you water grows. Financial investment in yourself also matters. Instead of always seeking comfort or entertainment, sometimes the best thing you can do is buy that book, enroll in that class, hire that coach, or travel to that event. It might feel like a cost, but it's actually a seed. What you pour into your growth financially often comes back to you, multiplied through income, impact, and new opportunities. You don't have to spend recklessly, but don't let fear or scarcity stop you from betting on your future. Ultimately, investing in yourself is an act of belief. It says, I'm worth the effort. I believe in who I can become. And when you live with that belief, the world begins to reflect it back to you. You move with more confidence. You speak with more clarity. You live with more intention. You stop settling for scraps when you know you're building something valuable. Because when you grow, you win. And when you keep investing in that growth, you become unstoppable. Life is made up of moments, tiny, fleeting fragments of time that we often overlook in pursuit of something bigger. But the truth is, this moment is your life, not the someday you keep dreaming of, not the weekend you're waiting for, not the future you're trying to control. It's here, right now. The question is, are you truly living it? When you start to make every moment count, you stop rushing through life and begin to experience it fully, deeply, and intentionally. Too often we live in a haze of distraction. We move through our days on autopilot, endlessly scrolling, multitasking, and numbing ourselves with noise. We postpone joy for the weekend, delay gratitude until we make it, and sacrifice presence for productivity. But in doing so, we miss what really matters. The smile of a loved one, the quiet peace of a morning routine, the energy of a challenge, the sacredness of stillness. Making the moment count means being there fully. You don't need a perfect life to appreciate the moment. You need awareness. You need to be grounded in the now, even if it's messy, even if it's painful. Because even the hard moments shape you, they teach you, they refine you. Every season of life, good or bad, is an opportunity to grow, to reflect, and to choose who you're becoming. When you make each moment count, you live with purpose, even in the chaos. You don't just go through life, you grow through life. Living with intention also means being deliberate with your choices. Every decision, no matter how small, is a vote for the kind of life you want to create. How you spend your time, how you treat others, how you respond to setbacks, it all matters. You can either let your days slip by unnoticed or choose to live them with clarity and commitment. Your time is your most precious resource. Once it's gone, you don't get it back. So make sure it's aligned with what truly matters to you. Making every moment count doesn't mean living in constant pressure to perform or be productive. It means living with presence. It means finding joy in the ordinary. It means being grateful, even when things aren't perfect. It means laughing more, loving harder, and letting go of things that drain your spirit. It's about quality, not quantity. One intentional hour can be more powerful than a whole day spent distracted. When you're present, life becomes more vivid, more meaningful, more real. Regret often comes not from what we did, but from what we didn't do, the moments we ignored, the people we took for granted, the chances we let pass by. Making each moment count is an act of courage. It means saying yes to life, even when it's inconvenient or scary. It means choosing to speak up, to slow down, to take risks, and to love without holding back. You don't get to relive your days, so why not live them like they matter? Because they do. Ultimately, every day is a page in the story of your life. And what makes a story beautiful isn't how long it is, it's how fully it's lived. You don't have to wait for some magical milestone to begin. You already have everything you need this moment. And when you treat it like the gift it is, everything changes. Your relationships deepen. Your perspective sharpens. Your purpose becomes clear. Life stops being something you chase and starts being something you honor, moment by moment, breath by breath.